heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
Hey, peace. How y'all doing today? We're gonna have a quick crash.
Peace.
That's my noble Alonzo. What's up, brother?
Peace
How
and
are
love.
you?
Peace and love. Doing well by Allah's grace. How everyone doing?
Man, we doing good, man. We're doing amazing. As always. Got our brother out here with us, Noble Malik. We're gonna celebrate my Empress Soda return. So we just relaxing and killing and fellowshipping as we always do.
Indeed,
Noble. But can we do our Morris American prayer before we get started?
Yep. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night, by day. His holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amin Ashek, Imam al King, Islam, peace.
Peace. First, I want to give gratitude once again to all my college alumni that showed me love, that donated to $50 for the trust class. And so I did it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel and our Temple YouTube channel. We didn't do it on our Temple YouTube channel, so we're doing it today. And if you like to give a suggested donation, if you don't have $50, all our information is in the bio. If you send a donation, make sure you email me, and I'm gonna give you the information so you can study. So next week, when we come back next Friday at 1 p.m., you can ask questions. This is for your family. This is for your family to take yourself out of litigation, to take yourself out of probate, to protect yourself. So I'm just gonna do another quick crash course, go over the bullets that I went over. Shouldn't take me that long. It may take about 30, 40 minutes and we out of here. If you have some specific questions and you donate it, I will answer them. I'm not here to answer everyone's questions. That's not my mission. If you are a student, then we do what students do. If you're not a student, then you can continue to be lost. I'm okay with that as well. I wouldn't recommend you to be lost because you have the opportunity to support something that's real. So let's jump into it. We're gonna just give a preface of understanding living trust. And if my Muftis, if y'all here, if y'all want to interject or say something, you can. I have no problem. But how can you avoid probate and save taxes and more? We all have that question. Let me get my fan because it get hot. Hold on.
I'll be right back. Going to acting. Be right back.
All right. I traced my family. They from Goodman in Florida. Blew my mind. Had me tearing up. All right, so let's proceed, my brothers and sisters that's here to learn. If you're here to learn, at least say something to your brother. If you're on TikTok and YouTube, if you're here to learn, let me know. If you're not here to learn, you will just be blocked. But how many of us are familiar with a will? We all familiar with wills, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if we're familiar with wills, then what we have to do is get familiar with trust and why we need a trust and why we need to educate our families on these things and even our friends that we come around, because we may know someone that may go through this. And then for the lack of knowledge, for the lack of understanding, we all perish. So how can you protect your assets and avoid probate? How? Let's deal with it. So What is a living trust? The first thing you want to know is what is a living trust? And a living trust is a legal document that, just like a will, listen clearly, contains your instructions for what you want to happen to your assets when you die. But unlike a will, a living trust avoids probate at death, can control all of your assets, and prevent the court from controlling your assets at incapacity. Now, somebody be like, well, I never heard of that word incapacity. Do anybody know what incapacity means?
Incapacity.
Yeah. I want us to learn, because I said at death. Remember, I said you want to avoid probate at death, and you can control all of your assets and prevent the courts from controlling your assets at incapacity. Now you must know. Thank you. Now you got to know
what incapacity means. Well, incapacity means that you can't, handle your own affairs. It's either that you done slipped into a coma, or you done got it Alzheimer's, or you done, you can't think for yourself. That's incapacitated. Islam.
Yes, Islam. And also, we're talking about power of attorney. No matter when you die, it's just like the Moore Science Temple is set up a certain way, just like my temple is set up a certain way. If I go, it doesn't stop. If I get incapacity, it don't stop. I have the trust set up a certain way where my mufti is going to continue to do it. If we have $100 million in our account, my muftis, our trust, they on the board. So they're going to continue to do things. If we have assets, it's already in our trust, how it's broken down. So if, say, I'm just using myself as an example, say anything happened to me, I get senile or whatever, in my trust, everything can still happen for the people that I love. So Islam, no go Alonzo to that. Islam. So the next thing is, our living trust new? No, they've been in use and successfully for hundreds of years. The next question was asked to me, well, Sheikh, who should have a living trust? I don't care what age, marital status, and wealth, it don't really matter. If you own title assets, a title asset is like a house or a bank account. Or if you have more than $166,400 and want your loved ones, your spouse, your children, or even your parents to avoid court interference at your death or incapacity, you will definitely want to consider using a living trust. And you may also want to strongly encourage your family members and your friends to have a trust and have their estate documents in order, so you won't have to deal with the courts at their incapacities or death. See, we don't have these conversations. We be arguing over what team LeBron James getting ready to go to. People be like, oh man, his Jordans ain't real. You look at somebody, oh, his diamonds ain't real. You want to test somebody's diamonds. Like, you are wasting your time. And that's why I say certain people that look like me, I don't even go around them. I don't care if they're Moors, because I'm not into the lower science. I'm into the higher science. Does your trust end when you die? Unlike a will, a trust doesn't have to end when you die. See, a lot of our parents, they don't know this, and we arguing over some fake stuff. You have to teach your parents this to protect not only your parents and yourself and those around you. Assets can stay in your trust and managed by the person you have chosen to be in charge after you are gone. Your successor, trustee, until your beneficiaries, including minor children, reach the age or the ages that you want them to inherit, not the courts, or to provide for a loved one with special needs over an extended period of time. What I'm saying, what you mean, Sheikh? In my trust, it can be set up to provide for a loved one with special needs over an extended period of time. If you have a kid that's autistic or whatever, and you're not there to help them no more, it can be in your trust where you have someone taking care of them. Or you have a parent that might have an ailment and you used to be the caretaker. Someone in that trust, it goes on. So they don't have to go to a living facility where it's no love. Is a living trust expensive? No, especially when you compare to all the costs of court interference at incapacity and death. You just need someone like myself that can help you with your paperwork. And if you take it to your attorney or your lawyer, then you've done a part of the work and you're going in with understanding. How much you pay will depend on how complicated your plan is. and how informed and complete your legal counsel is. What you said? Wait a minute.
She.
You said she. Yes, go ahead.
No, when you said that part about when you go into your attorney or your person of choice, that you're going in knowing what you need to do. I think that's a major key, that you're not going in blind. With that, I say Islam.
Come on, that's why I'm. See, no, I be telling people. It says, "Who's your counsel?" You're supposed to have sound counsel. Just like I don't know if y'all watched Thurgood Marshall when he had a person that was his legal counsel. Even though you have an attorney, but you have that person that go like me that can research precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act, quid pro quo, Chicago Law Review. So we can say, for your honor, you're going to judge my client in the parameters of the law, in the precedent of law in your case. So when I say legal counsel, your legal counsel is the person that have your best interest. If you want to get an attorney, fine. If you want to get an attorney, whatever you want to call it, fine. But you're dealing with me as your legal counsel that's going to give you bullets to say, take this to your attorney. When your attorney act like they don't know what's going on, then you can fire them. Why? Because they're not protecting you in your best interest. I am. You always need that. If you studying, I say you don't have a tutor that's helping you succeed, or you're going to quit. Why? Because you don't have a tutor that's got your best interest. Teachers all the time don't have your best interest. An attorney going to get paid regardless if they win or lose, because that's litigation. So when you go into something, you can't go in it with your eyes wide shut. If your wife gets sick or if you get sick, you have to study on that so you can ask certain questions. So your legal counsel is very, very, very important. Be sure to get an estimate of the cost for your whole estate plan. The plan should include the following: a living trust, an abstract of trust, a power over will. I'm gonna break that down. I was like, damn, I thought you said we shouldn't get a will. Exactly. But I'm gonna show you what it's not a power, a pour over will. I'm gonna show you what that means. One for each living spouse. And then you're like, damn, I never heard of that. I know. A power of attorney over assets, management issues. One for each living spouse. An advanced healthcare directive to take care of healthcare needs. For one for each living spouse. And all of the funding documents to form your trust. When everybody be like, I'm gonna get a trust, and your trust gonna magically be funded. With what? Fuji dust? Including deeds, funding letters to your banks, investment accounts, and the likes. And when choosing a legal professional to help you with your work, make sure that he or she is not going to charge you extra for phone calls or questions. So with me, if I'm helping you and you giving donations each month, I'm your counsel. You don't have to pay me no more. You can give me a love token for my time, but when you're a member of the BBT, all those questions that you're going to need to ask before you go in, you can counsel me. I'm gonna counsel you. That's how this goes. Which will need to be done every 4 to 5 years. Also, make sure to ask how much it will cost your successor trustee to meet with your estate attorney after you are gone. You need to know all this. This should be at no charge. But unfortunately, this is what some attorneys do. They make up the loss of their probate fees, how she, by charging large fees to consult with your family after you go. That's how they make money on the back end. How I know? Because this is what I do. Another thing to look out for are companies or individuals who try to sell you other products by offering you their versions of estate documents at a discount, because they will make large commission by selling you insurance or annuity products, or try to take over the management of your investments or the like. But when you got me as your sound counsel that got your best interest, this is what you're giving us donations for, to make sure you don't cross your T's and dotted your I's. I'm a T crosser. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So you're saying that when you go in to speak to someone about a trust or will, whatever you think they can handle for you, that they already have products that they're trying to gain insight of what you have to manage your stuff and sell you other stuff. So you're not just coming in there for what you bringing them. They're trying to steer you into other products.
Come on. It's just like if you go in to buy a car or something, and they say, oh, well, you can get this, and that, and other. Or you go into the store to get something, they're trying to sell you all these extra things. And you think you need all that because you don't have the information. So you come out of there purchasing something that you don't even need. What you did, they just building a commission. They are salesmen. That's their job. When you get a mortgage, and I tell people, I say, you don't own nothing. That person that helped you get the house, they ain't telling you they ain't gonna tell you the real interest rate and how much they making. So when you getting the mortgage and everything, when you dealing with me, when you go in that contract, you know what you're doing. You know the interest rate. You know that your property tax. You know if you got a floating rate of a fluctuating mortgage, you're gonna know all this before you sign that piece of paper. And then I'm gonna show you how to take things out of public and put it in private. All these things you get at the BBT. So you should know what you're doing. And when you are an obligor, that means you know what's going on. You know. Good questions, Alonzo. Keep it coming. So how long does it take to get a living trust? Remember I said it can take between 3 to 6 weeks to have custom legal documents prepared for you after you make the basic decisions about your plan. So what do you mean, She? When you sit down with me and you choose the trust that you want, I always talk about a living trust that you can control when you're alive and can be changed when you leave. I help you set that up. So then when you take it to your attorney, your legal person, all they doing is what? Going over the documents. That's why we have in our science, I tell all my brothers, you need to be a notary so we can sign certain documents. So when when something happened to me, we have power of attorney. That's all set up in the BBT trust. So this was the next question they asked me. One student was like, well, I know my parents have a will. Why should I want to change a living trust? And I'm doing the same lecture I'm doing with y'all at GCU. All the students right there, they done called their parents. They were like, well, can we call our parents and have them on Zoom with us? I said, absolutely, because I want them to learn. Man, they were like, well, where you at in class? They put the video on. They're like, that's Shikari Goodman Bay. They're like, well, how much the course cost? The college students donated $50, but I had way more college students. So I said, this is for your family. And I gave everybody a tax and receipt. That's why I tell everyone we lost. So the question was, my parents have a will. Why would I want a living trust? Well, I said, contrary to what you've probably heard before, a will may not be the best plan for you and your family. Primary because a will does not avoid probate when you die. In addition, a will does not generally allow you to choose when and how your estate will be distributed. The basic rule is that if a child or a heir of your estate is not 18 years of age at the time that you leave or incapacity, the inheritance must stay in a blocked account until the child or the heir reaches maturity or a majority. How can the courts decide that? If your child ready to get something that you did, you decided. But the courts can block things. The court can do this. And why would you want the court to make a decision on your assets? Why? Even today, I tell people, they say, and they Moors, and they in their science, and they say, we got to go get a marriage license. And the woman and the woman's family make the man go get a marriage license, but they under my science. I say, why would you listen to them? You don't need no marriage license. I do it. I do the union. I do your ceremony, and we do it through our temple and school, and we have our marriage agreement with our own documents. You don't have to go through the courts and be a willing obligor and put people in your contract. When you do that, it's a third party contract. The same way as this will. What? You can get sued in litigation. Same thing. That's why I tell everyone our religious laws trump anything outside yourself. We must be re-educated on these topics. It cannot even be used for regular fees to raise the minor child without a court order. So what if you need this money to help raise your child? Well, it can't even be used to raise your child without a court order. On the other hand, if your child has reached the age of 18, they will receive the inheritance whether or not they are mature or mentally sound enough in order to use the inheritance wisely. Now, what if your child ain't mentally stable or appear and they just take everything and blow it all? You can control that. You can say, no, this ain't going to my son that's off the wall. I can't do that. This got to go to such and such, and they can distribute something to them because I want them to have something, not take it all and blow it. You can count on that child buying a car or wasting their inheritance within a short period of time. I know so many people. I'm not going to say his name because he might be on here. I know when his mom died, she gave all of them $200,000 cash and a house because she had rental property. In less than one calendar year, they had 75 cents a piece. And I'm not exaggerating. in one calendar year. In one calendar year, everybody's like, oh, I did some money, I'm gonna flip. No, you're not, because you ain't doing nothing already. They blew it on what? They have no idea. I'm telling you. And so I don't mean no disrespect, bro, if you on here. I always use real stuff to show people I can't do nothing but teach you real things. I can't make up nothing. But a will must be verified by the probate court before it can be enforced. Also, because a will can only go into effect after you die. So if you get senile or whatever, you hit. It provides no protection if you become physically or mentally incapacitated. So the court could easily take control of your assets before you die, a concern of millions of older Americans and their families. But fortunately, there is a simple and proven alternative to a will. Do y'all know what that alternative is? It's the Family Revocable Living Trust. Once again, the Family Revocable Living Trust. It avoids probate. It allows you to determine when and how and to whom your estate will transfer. And it lets you keep control of your assets while you are living, even if you become incapacitated after you die. You want this. Do the trust and a will do the same thing? Well, not quite. Because like I said, a will can, but does not necessarily contain wording to create a testamentary trust. Remember, the language must be correct. If you don't know the language, what's going on, and you sign a contract, you're a willing obligor, and you don't know what's in the contract, that's your fault. That's your fault. You can't go to the court and say, oh, I was brainwashed. They say, did you read the contract? The first thing you're going to say is no. That's your fault. A trust created by the probate court after you are deceased to save estate taxes, care for minor, and etc. But because it's part of your will, this trust is controlled by the probate court. And we want to stay out of probate. So this is not the best way to handle the situation. But in addition, brothers and sisters, the will cannot go into effect until after you die. And the will is probated. So your estate going to be ate up. So it does not avoid probate and provides no protection at incapacity. Y'all still with me?
Absolutely.
Okay. If I have a living trust, do I still need a will? Listen to me. If I have a living trust, do I still need a will?
No.
Well,
that all depends on what type of trust you're working with.
Now, remember what I said earlier, a pour over will. You need to look, everybody, I hope y'all taking notes, because you need to look up what a pour over will is. Now, a pour over will is just not a will. A pour over will is a type of protection in your trust. Listen to what I'm saying. So a pour over will, which acts as a safety net, because you want a safety net. It acts as a safety net. If you forget to transfer an asset to your trust. So say my nigga Malik, we own all this property and we own all this. And so when he's setting this stuff up and I say, well, Noble, did you put the land we got here and there in your trust? And he say, oh, damn, I forgot, Sheik. If he don't have this pour over will that's connected to his trust, he hit. He want that, it's a safety net. And when you die, this type of will catches any forgotten assets and it transfers them into your trust. I said, when you die, this type of will catches any forgotten assets and then it transfers them into your trust. And the assets may have to go through probate first, but at least the assets will be transferred into your trust. And they can then be distributed as part of your living trust plan. So what you saying, Sheik, I said, yes, if you want to change or add something to that, going to that, yes, it's going to go through probate first, but it ain't going to be no issue. The probate is just the legal process you got to do to put something that you may have forgot to put in. And then your assets will be transferred into your trust. And they can then be distributed as part of your living trust plan.
So that's a pour over will. That's P-O-R-T. That's P-O-R-T over will.
Oh, you mean, yeah. Or some people spell it P-O-U-R over, a pour over,
Pour over.
a P-O-U-R over.
P-O-U-R.
Yeah, but Alonzo, you said it as well. You know, because a lot of times people spell things different, but you said it right. If you research it, it might be spelled that way. Am I right?
Islam.
Islam. I hope y'all catching what my noble's saying, you know, and the assets may have to go through that probate first, but at least the assets will be transferred into your trust and they can then be distributed as part of your living trust plan. So the port over will is also used to set forth who will act as guardians over any minor children you may have. Without your input of who you would like to raise your minor children, the court will be required to determine who should raise your children. And then sometimes, most times, they'll split them up. They'll put them in those foster homes. They'll split them up and may put them into the foster care system. Thus, it's important to have this port over will as part of your estate document. So say if you got young kids and then something happened to you, and then you don't have it in your will, say, hey man, my kids need to go to my noble Malik Reed. If you don't have that set up like that, your kids go into probate. I'm telling you, I done seen this happen. And then people try to ask for my help after the fact. I said, I can't help you after the fact. I'm trying to prevent something so you don't have to go through this, but that's our fault. Is a living will the same as a living trust? No, a living trust is for financial affairs. A living will was for medical affairs. I hope y'all catching what I'm saying. I said a living trust is for financial affairs. A living will was for medical affairs. It was to let others know how you felt about life support in terminal situations. Meaning, if this happened to me, no, don't put me on this, take me out. The living will, or as some call it, the declaration or the declaration to physician, was done away with in California in July 2000. With this type of decision, now a part of the Advanced Healthcare Directive, if your current estate documents include this document, you should have them reviewed and updated as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So the next question was asked to me, Noble Alonzo. They said, I hear you talking about probate, Sheik. What is probate? Because everybody don't know this. And I tell people, if you so there's not a such thing as a dumb question. Don't be sitting in somewhere as a bump on the log and be Islam, amen, Islam, Ashe, and you don't know what I'm talking about. Probate is the legal process through which the court sees that when you die, your debts are paid and your assets are distributed according to your will. Now, how I jump in this and the person say, my debts paid, I don't care about no debts when I pass. I tried to help my mom when my grandma died. I had uncles that didn't know, we're going to pay all this. I said, why? She's gone. You're not responsible for none of that. She's gone. We ain't paying nothing. Any credit card, it's a wrap. We're not going to use the money that she done stayed to pay no credit cards. It's a wrap. It's already insured. We ain't paying no JCPenney account. We ain't paying no Macy's account. We're not paying no Ross account. It's over. And if you don't have a valid will, your assets are distributed according to the state law, which is really the way you want them to be distributed. So what's so bad about probate? Okay, it's expensive. I use California in addition to court costs and fees, along with the notice costs and other fees, the attorney probating your estate, as well as the executor or manage assigned to the probate your estate. Each will get a percentage of gross value of the estate and possibly special fees on top of that. Now, why you don't want to deal with me and all I'm asking for is a $50 donation, and then I'm gonna send you all books, and then we're gonna have Q&As next week. You can change everything some of y'all might have a will right now. You might have sat with your mom and be like, yeah, I got a will. And then your brother that you ain't dealt with in 50 years, soon as something passed, he go get him an attorney. And now you got litigation. The will could already be set up a certain way. The trust, the legal fees and the executor fees, along with other costs, must be paid before your assets can fully be distributed to your heirs. So you got to pay all these people this stuff because you don't know how to handle your business before you can even tap into your trust. And if you own property in other states, your family could face what? Multiple probates. I showed y'all. So if my noble Malik owned property in St. Louis, Sacramento, Arizona, Michigan, California, Baltimore, everywhere our mufti's at. If it's not set up the right way, we can face multiple probates, each one according to the laws in that state, because every state have their own local jurisdiction, because these costs can vary widely. So you got to be sure to get an estimate of costs and expenses. It takes time. It takes about 1 to 3 years. During part of this time, assets are usually frozen, so an accurate inventory can be taken. Nothing can be distributed or sold without court and or the executive approval. So you got all these assets and you're rich, and say you're dealing with, no disrespect, I'm giving an analogy. You got a woman and they done had these parties where they try to meet rich people, and these women, they say, oh, well, get with him, he got rich, and then after a certain years you can divorce him. Okay, well, you do that, I got a certain trust. You're gonna go to court and look like boo-boo to woo-woo. Why? Because I own nothing. I control it, and I get paid through the trust. So you hit. In my account, I might have $50. They be like, but you worth millions. I ain't worth millions. I get paid through the trust. You get nothing. If your family needs money to live on, they must request a living allowance, which may be denied. So your money can be denied through the courts. And you can protect yourself with messed up women or messed up men. I forget the name of the soccer player that did that. I got it in my notes, where his wife wanted to divorce him and she went to court. Oh, I'm gonna get all this money. He got rich. He went to court. He had a trust. Everything was in his mama name. Done. Aha. Your family has no privacy. Probate is a public process, right? So any interested party can see what you owned and who you owed. I said, any interested party can see what you owned and who you owed, because you public, not private. The process invites disgruntled heirers. I talked about your brother that jump out the woodwork, or your mother's brother that jump out the woodwork, or you have multiple brothers. I use my family. When my dad family died, one of his cousins, all my uncles came out the woodwork. My dad didn't care because he's like, hey, whatever happened. But my dad is knowledgeable. My dad had the doctoral in business. So he like, y'all can't agree on this. The probate gonna eat all the money up. It stayed up. When they was done arguing, they all got about like $300. You can ask my dad. And it was hundreds and hundreds of thousands. They went to court. The attorneys loved it because they getting paid. After they were going to court for about 1.5 years, maybe 2. After it was all over, they settled. The attorneys got their money, and it was left about $400 each. Because when that money come out, one of my uncles, he didn't try to let him know that he had siblings. He tried to get it all, but then the attorneys reached out to the siblings, and now you screwed.
They fools.
Yep, that's what happened. And your family has no control. And disgruntled.
Public record.
Yep, you have disgruntled family members to contest your will, and they can't expose your family to unscrupulous solicitors. Your family don't have no control, and the probate process determines how much it's going to cost, how long it would take, and what information is made public. Your family will not have the opportunity to choose how things should be done or distributed. So when you do that, you don't open a whole cans of worms. So I'm gonna give y'all this little bullet, because I'm gonna stop, because I don't want to go over the whole thing, because I did it yesterday. How does a living trust avoid probate and prevent court control of assets at incapacity? When you set up a living trust, you transfer assets from your name to the name of your trust, which you control, such as from Bob and Sue Smith, or Malik Reed L, and say his wife is Nancy Reed L, aka husband and wife. You change that to Bob and Sue Smith, or Malik and whatever his wife name, Smith, or L. Trustees under whatever date is established. Trustees. What that do is like, no, we just a trustee of this thing. We're not the owner. We trustee. We took it in a whole different legality. And legally, you no longer own anything. Why? Because you want to control everything and own nothing. I got to put that on the shirt, Malik. Control everything and own nothing. We got to have that on the shirt. Don't panic, though, when I say that, because everything now belongs to your trust. You set it up, it's still yours, which you own and which you control. So there is nothing for the courts to control or transfer when you die or become incapacitated. And the concept is very simple, but this is what keeps you and your family out of their court. Out of their court. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Somebody asked me something about taxes. He said, how can a living trust save on estate taxes? Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. Okay, so I'm gonna give a certain year. So if you die, say in 2020, right, and the net value of your estate is more than 11,580,000, federal estate taxes starting at 40% must be paid within 9 months of the date of your death. And if you are married, your living trust can include a provision that will let you and your spouse leave up to about 23,160,000 estate tax-free, saving millions in federal estate taxes. Remember, we taxes them for the federal government, religious and charitable contribution, education-wise. That's how, instead of us giving our money to Uncle Sam, we donate to the BBT. I give you a tax-exempt receipt. We build our infrastructure. We build our temples. We build our schools. We build our libraries. We build our community centers. I hope y'all listening. This amount, it went up in 2017 to 11,200,000, but it may roll back to its original amount of 5,400,000 it did in 2024. Islam, I'm on my other platform. Somebody said, why would the court get involved with incapacity? Well, I told you, if you can't conduct business due to mental or physical incapacity, Alzheimer's, stroke, heart attack, only a person appointed by the court, called a court appointed. Y'all know what a court appointed is, a court appointed attorney. I hope y'all listening to what I'm saying. I'm dropping nuggets and bullets. What? A court appointed attorney. They work for the courts. They're going to have you plead to a lesser charge.
Look for these things.
Yes.
It's like when you proclaim and declare your name, your free national name in a public like newspaper.
Yes.
And if anybody wants to contest it, they have opportunity.
Yes.
And when nobody contests it, now it becomes fact.
Yes. Malik just dropped the bomb. They look for people that don't have their business right. They solicit you. They solicit you. They solicit you. You have to do your paperwork. You have to know what you're doing. That's why I had the BBT. We know what we're doing. And I have to go back to the analogy Noble made when we was working out. When I said, hey man, get you a fez, my Noble Malik jumped right in. He said, I hope you learn something before you put that fez on your head. And don't be out here acting premature. You need to learn something first so you know what you have on your head and what it represents, and you can be proud with it. The court, not your family, controls how your assets are used to care for you. And this public process can be expensive, embarrassing, time-consuming, and difficult to end if you recover. So when you get a court-appointed attorney, that court-appointed attorney works for the courts. That court-appointed attorney is going to have you plead to a lesser charge. When you plead to a lesser charge, that lesser charge is you admitting that you're guilty. What? Of something. In addition, it does not replace probate at death, and your family could have to go through the court system twice. So why would you want to put your children and your family, all of that? And I've been teaching y'all this. I teach more science, not games. This is more science for the family. So once again, somebody said, what are the benefits of a living trust? Avoids probate at death, including multiple probates if you own property in other states. So when Moors be crossing jurisdictions, I said, if we own property in all these different states and we don't have a trust, we're going to, depending on the bylaws in that local state, we're going to have to go to probate where for everything that we own in that state. Everything that me and Malik own, say if me and Malik own stuff in 30 states and we don't have our paperwork right. Well, you know what's going to happen to me and Malik? We got to go to probate in 30 states.
Well, not whoever your people are.
If we don't have a trust, if this stuff is a will and we own property everywhere based on the laws, the probate, we got to go to court.
We ain't the other people.
Yeah. I'm using that as an example.
You're not going to have to. You make it hard on who you trying to leave your stuff to. You don't have
absolutely, Manoble. And I try to tell our families. My cousin just popped on my TikTok page, and I love you, Jaquan. You know that. But our family going to pass, our moms and our aunties, and if we don't share it with our family, and you think, oh, you're going to get this, court going, I'm telling you. And if they got aunties and other kids, man, that you think you and your brother cool right now, let something happen with mom and dad, they got money, I guarantee it's going to be a problem. And we're not protecting our families.
Don't feel entitled to nothing that ain't yours.
And that's another thing I tell people, don't be entitled to nothing that ain't yours. You should be setting yourself up. You should be acting no way, like my homie said. He said, you got a family that be on your page and don't rock with. Yep. Yes, I do. But that's their fault. We're here for love. My brothers are here. So it prevents court control of assets at incapacity, meaning if you get Alzheimer's or you can't handle your own business, it brings all of your assets together under one plan, provides maximum privacy because we are private, not public. They be like, what you mean, Sheik? You want to take everything out of public and make it private for your private eyes. You don't want nobody to let me see how much Malik owned. Dang, Malik owned all this. I ain't know he owned that. Damn, how he been? It ain't your business. Man, he worked here with me, but you don't even know Malik worth $80 million. Yeah. He worth $80 million. How about the other stuff that he done? Everything we did, he worth $80 million in his trust. He might only got $50 in his bank account. He don't give a damn. He might only got his work check going in his personal account. He has something totally different. That's private. Malik with the BBT, he owned a whole compound. You know?
The church is your private banking system.
Come on, you hear my note? Our church is our private banking system. I keep trying to tell people this. Our land is ours, private. It provides maximum privacy. It provides quicker distribution of assets to beneficiaries. Assets can remain in the trust until you want beneficiaries to inherit. You can reduce or eliminate state taxes. What did you just say, Sheik? You can reduce or eliminate state taxes. Inexpensive and easy to set up and to maintain. And I don't care if you get an attorney or a lawyer to do your final paperwork, but you should get with me. Why? So you don't have to spend extra money because they're not going to tell you, I'm going to set yourself up. I'm going to do your template. You're going to take it to whoever you want just to make it valid. And you're going to have a whole bunch of questions. They're going to be like, well, who did you talk to before this? They're going to be on it. Why? Because you're going in with information. I promise you this. The same way if you get in trouble, your legal counsel that got your best interest, I ain't going to defend you in court because I don't defend criminals, but I can be your legal counsel that got your best interest, that I can give you precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act, quid pro quo, Chicago Law Review. I can tell you all these precedent law cases and doc numbers and all that Information Act to help you with your case. It can be changed or canceled at any time. It's much more difficult to contest. Prevents court control of minors' inheritance. Can protect dependents with special needs so they do not need to lose their government benefits. Prevents unintentional disinheriting and other problems of joint ownership. Professional management with corporate trust, with the trustees. Your peace of mind. Your peace of mind should be the main thing. What? Because I know my business is handled. So if something happened to me, I don't have to worry about nothing. That's a peace of mind. Protects your beneficiaries' inheritance from their own creditors. What you mean? Okay, so say I gotta use say if I own people personally, I own all this. They ain't gonna be able to tap in that. Why? Because I'm not no sole priority. It's set up different. So they can't say, oh, Kareem just inherited 150 million and he got all this other debt. And then that was me personally. You got to understand that. So when I help people set up businesses, this is what I get with every misnomer black person in Morris. Oh, it's my business. It's my name on it. I said, so you sole priority or whatever that means. Yeah. I said, okay. So you got a landscaping company, right? Your landscaping company might not be worth nothing, but say you worth 50 million. Okay. So you do something to injure me and you on your landscaping company, but your landscaping company is under the sole priority. I say, oh, it's all public. I said, oh, his landscaping company ain't worth nothing, but he's 50 million. Let's sue Kareem personally.
Sure.
Got him. And it can distribute your assets when, how you, and to who you desire. So, like I said, I want to stop right there. I answered a couple of questions that people had. I have more documents, a plethora of documents. I have books that I give you if you donate, for you can study, for you can have, for you can read. So next week, you should have a plethora of questions. I always tell people, all these more that be following me, all these people with L's that's been following me on my TikTok page for years. If you're on my TikTok page and you know me, it's people on here been following me for years, men and women, and you know it. So if you've been following me for years, that means I've been courting you. And if you're still here, that means I got to be doing something right. And so I know it's worth something. And the only reason why our people don't know this, because we don't use our right sources and we don't donate to platforms that can help us. You have to use your finances to learn. And with the BBT, I'm a private banking system. So I thank y'all for your time. We're 45 minutes in. Do anybody have anything they want to ask before I get out of here? I'm gonna go 5 more minutes for Q&As. So do anybody got any questions? If you haven't gave a donation, all my information is in my bio. My office number is 602-473-8767. My email is my first and last name, Goodman, GOODMAN, KHARY @gmail.com. That's how you can get with me. So we got 3 more minutes. So I said I'm gonna leave it for Q&As. We got 3 more minutes. I'm telling y'all, and the little documents that I just went over, if you're not good at taking notes, because everybody's not good at taking notes. I'm a teacher. I go over a whole thing and give all the bullets, and I say everything that I told y'all that I highlight is gonna be on the test. I'll go around the classroom. If you're not a good note taker, you don't have no notes, you taking the test by yourself and you're gonna fail. And I gave all the answers to the test. I do that all the time. Let me tell you another way how I can get you. Watch this. I have a sign-up sheet, right? And I say, everybody sign. But everybody said, well, what's the instruction? I say, don't worry about no instructions, just sign, right? Thank yous, but most people are signed. And I said, well, I had a cover page. What was the cover page? Say if y'all, you do music and I'm an executive and you want to sign with me and I'm slick with it. So I say, let's sign this. It's a sign-in sheet. Is it a cover sheet? Yeah, but you don't need it. You don't need it. Why don't you need a cover sheet? It might be something in that cover sheet that'll stop me from signing. But a lot of people are signing and then I get a cover sheet and the cover sheet says, I own all your rights. And if I give you an advance, you got to pay it back. And I own everything. I own your rights and the credits. You don't get nothing unless you go to shows. That's the thing what I'm talking about, the information. So we got 1 more minute and we out of here. Did nobody ask no question? All this, y'all could be asking questions on TikTok. Ain't nobody asking no questions. So that means you know it all. So if you know it all, I hope you're doing what you say. I hope the inside match the outside. And I hope the outside match the inside. You know, I really do. So I got 50 seconds left. If y'all want to work out, y'all see my Noble Malik Reed right here. We work out every day. We got everything for our culture. Everybody shouldn't be following me and not in tune. Y'all should be on our YouTube channel. Y'all should be emailing me, hit me up. Hey man, boom, boom, boom. Before I make this crazy move, or I met somebody on social media and they said they could fix my credit and give me credit. I met somebody said that I'm a sovereign citizen, they can do all this. You need to get with me before I can correct all that. You want to be corrected before you make anything that can cause harm to you and your family and to those around you. And my people perish, my people are destroyed. Why? Due to a lack of knowledge, because we refuse to learn. That's Hosea, 4:6. That's a fact. And we are destroyed due to a lack of knowledge. We don't know who ourselves are, and we don't know how to handle our business. So my time is up. Once again, I gave y'all all my information, how to get with me. I love y'all. Thanks for tapping in with your brother. I am a real person. You see my skin, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. I need y'all support. I'm not afraid to ask for my family and friends support. I need all y'all support. I don't care if it's $5 or $10 or whatever. It goes to building our temple. And as everyone understand, it goes to the storehouse. And then we can start being transparent. We can really have our brick and mortar, our library, our community center, our skilled trades. We can start buying houses and moving our single moms around us, like Sakina Bay. Peace, Empress. You've been following me forever. And I see on your page, I know you a single mom. I call you a widow based off our teachings. What you mean? And if you're a single mom, you are a widow. You want to be protected. It's no disrespect to no one. That's what they call the widow's mite. That's when people say, oh, I'm a widow's son. No, you're just fatherless. You don't have brothers that really love you. My Noble Malik said it before. Man, I feel sorry for these empresses and the babies. How? That's dealing with these Moors that done lost their marbles. And so y'all have the opportunity to be a part of something that's real. And so I recommend y'all to get with me. I love y'all, and I'm out. We can do our Moorish American prayer, and we out of here. Allah. Oh, go ahead, Noah.
Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allows our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night, by day. For the prophet, through our lead, and the sheep live in vain in the flesh. I say, Shalom Aleichem, Islam, Israel, peace, 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 peace.
Peace. You know I'm crazy too. Peace. I love y'all, man. And we out. Take us out, Noble.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god.